My name is Rod Adams. I'm from Minneapolis. And for the past 6 to 7 years, I've struggled with long bouts of unemployment, and I've worked a variety of minimum wage jobs, doing all this to take care of me and my daughter. But through it all, I had hope. I had hope because I was a college student who was really close to graduating, knowing that once I graduated, I'll be so much closer to achieving the elusive American dream. Once I graduated, I figured out that that American dream was just that, a dream. Sometimes I had to choose between eating food or paying my rent. In the wealthiest nation in the world, that ain't right.
That ain't right.
Okay, now the Federal Reserve has a mandate for full employment, but black communities, specifically in the Midwest, are struggling to find employment. And they haven't felt the effects of this mandate. In Minnesota, black Minnesotans, the rate of unemployment for black Minnesotans is almost 4 times as high as it is for white Minnesotans. The median income gap is $33,000. Okay, these disparities create an atmosphere of desperation. And once you combine this atmosphere of hopelessness and desperation with the archaic system of policing, what you've created is a ticking time bomb.
That's right.
These bombs have exploded in the form of uprisings in Ferguson, Missouri, Baltimore, and most recently back home in Minneapolis. All over, people of color have taken to the streets to say one thing, that our lives matter.
Black lives matter.
Now, Governor, the feds play a direct role in the pain and suffering of these communities. By not fulfilling the mandate for full employment and not reinvesting resources into these communities, they have left people scrambling for hope, people who look just like me. What could the Federal Reserve do to fulfill this mandate, and what would you do through appointments to make sure that this is done? Thank you.
In all of the appointments that I've made, and in my history of being a mayor who had to assemble a cabinet and make appointments, and a governor who assembled a cabinet, you will see a long, consistent track record of appointing people who not only reflect the great strength of the diversity of our city, our state, our country, but also people who understand that we're all in this together, that share the same basic belief that we all do better, in Paul Alston's words, when we're all doing better. And in our state, we, for the first time ever, exceeded our goals for minority and women business procurement goals. We had the highest goals in the land, and we exceeded them in a recession, and then we raised those goals. I mentioned before that we had the second highest median income for African American families. We passed the living wage, we raised the minimum wage. We made it easier for people to bargain collectively and for better wages. I was reading on the way here, and I know you asked about the Federal Reserve. To the Federal Reserve, I would appoint people who understand that our economy is not money, it's people. It's all of us. And therefore we must, just like our parents and grandparents before us, take the actions that actually restore common sense wage and labor policies. No family that works hard for a living should have to raise their children in poverty. So we used to keep the minimum wage above the poverty line all the time. I believe that we got away from that in the 1980s with trickle-down economics. It's time to raise the minimum wage to $15 an hour. Raise the threshold to always pay overtime pay for overtime work again. Because the way our economy grows is not from the trickling down from the top, is it? Have you ever seen a stalk of corn grow from the tassel down? That's not the way it happens. The more our workers earn, the more our workers spend, the more our